Good evening, everyone. You join me here at Daytona International Speedway. Here we are at the oval configuration getting ready for CASCAR Shootouts. These are going to be your pole winners and other winners throughout last season coming in to battle for the top spot. These guys are ready to get rolling here. We have so many great drivers in our field, such as Michael Jennings, Tyler Hardin, Greg Snellgrove, Don Ashton, and so many more. We are ready to get going. I'm very happy to be your broadcaster here tonight. My name is Noah Walter, and I'm so excited to get going. A lot of these drivers are ready to go. So many great paint schemes, too. I think it's going to be an excellent night we're going to have tonight. All right, so this is going to be a 50-lap shootout. Let's see if we can follow along with some of our other drivers. Oh, looks like no one wants to be on track. Okay, we'll follow along with Tyler. I see he's on track. Here we are. So currently, as we're running through practice, it looks like Mark LaPierre is going to be leading practice by 0.008. That is quite a margin to be winning by. That's great for him. And I think it is going to be a great sign to see of who your pole sitter is going to be as we head into a qualifying in just a few moments. Whoever gets the top qualifying position, I will be doing a quick pre-race interview with. So we'll see who gets that spot before we head into the actual feature race. I know a lot of these guys are absolutely ready to go. It's going to be I believe there's currently 10 drivers with us at the moment. It's going to make for an amazing start off to this season. It is going to be a 17 race season, 16 plus 1 All-Star. The schedule is going to be available in the Discord, which you should check out. CASCAR is the, I believe their abbreviation is the Canadian American Stock Car Auto Racing, I believe is their abbreviation, which is a play on the original CASCAR, which existed up until 2006, if I'm not mistaken. I am a silly American, so what do I know? Looks like everyone is going to be riding in the pits for the moment before we head into qualifying. Let's take a look at some of these cars. They look so great, all of them, honestly. Here we can follow along with Daniel Michael here. He comes out for the last little bit of practice. I know at Daytona, getting practice sounds a little bit silly. It's just a plate track, but honestly, just having that little bit of practice can really absolutely make the difference, knowing where the tire wear is, especially if you're in different time settings. We're here at sunset. We're going to be going into the night with this race, so that's good to know for track temperature. It's going to make an absolute difference on your tires. Running the high line at Daytona is always the fastest, so that is going to be something a lot of these guys are going to want to practice as well, because getting that pole position can make the difference when you start out this race. We've seen before in so many different events where starting on the pole keeps you out of trouble, but we've also seen it starting on the pole causing trouble as well. Although, usually all the trouble finds themselves in the midfield and towards the rear. Remember that this is the CASCAR series sponsored by Black Designs. A lot of these cars in here are going to be Black Designs cars, which you can also check out, because I'm pretty sure Stephen Black does want you to look at those. Daniel Michael is currently running in 5th position. 0.2 back from the leader. That is going to be pretty close, but again, this is Daytona. I imagine a lot of these were set with draft, and that makes a difference. All right, well, we're going to round out practice, and I'll be right back when we get in. All right, we head into closed, nope, not closed, open qualifying here tonight at Daytona. Let's get ready to see how this really is going to turn out. So we have qualifying here. We're going to follow along with the number 52 here and see how well he does. I think that this is going to absolutely make for a interesting qualifying session. A lot of the time we see these qualifying as closed, so having them open is going to make these drivers have to work together to get the best time. Now, working together is going to be difficult, but I think it is going to make a difference for these guys. All right, so as we head into here, we're about to see the first qualifying times being set. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited to see how this turns out. All right, that's Michael Jennings going to be leading, so we're going to see his time up first, and he's going to be followed by Don Ashton. Let's see who gets it. All right, so he just set a lap time of 42.445. There it goes. All right, so right now it looks like the number 39 is going to be leading out the qualifying session as we head through. Let's follow along with him here. About to get pushed by the number 22 of Greg. Nope. He pulls off to the side to let Greg by. Greg is currently running in third position in qualifying so far. It looks like he's going to pull out of the way for Tyler now, who's going to be running on that down low side, seeing if he can get through. This might be a strategy play, honestly, being able to work together to try to really push each other to the win, but I'm not quite sure if that's going to work out. All right, it's going to be the 39 still in lead position, although Tyler moves himself up into second position after that push from Greg. I really do think that getting that push makes a difference, especially here at Daytona. We know that pack racing is the way that it all works now. As they come up to this next pack, I wonder if they're going to try to work with them now. A lot of these guys absolutely very quick. You can see a 45-1 is not bad. Let's see what they get now. Looks like there it is. That's going to be Greg Snellgrove as your now pole sitter for the moment, but don't expect that to last too long, especially as we can see Tyler there right behind. If they're this close, I can only imagine how the racing is going to turn out. Always with the pack racing at Daytona due to the restrictor plates introduced in the 1988 season due to multiple accidents beforehand and the death of Davey Allison, if I'm not mistaken. Another lap done under qualifying. Looks like your qualifying board does not change for the moment. Though it may not seem like it, as tires are not usually necessary, tires do make a difference. So if these guys are really going to want tires, they're going to need to find out when it's going to work, because they need to make sure they have this draft too. 25 comes down to let people by. Tyler Hallahan still in second position. Is he going to be able to hold on to that as they come through now? This is a lot of guys all working together. Not too much time in qualifying left as well. They're really going to have to pick it up the pace if they want to make out these positions. Daytona International Speedway, with its 2.5-mile tri-oval design, was originally constructed in the early 50s, leading up until 1966. Nope, that was Talladega. Into the 60s, when it was really coming into popularity because of all the high speeds it could get. Right outside the beach of Daytona as well. These guys are going to really want to push it to see what kind of speeds they can get. It's one of the oldest tracks on the NASCAR Cup Series circuit that's still in operation today. Greg maintains his position of your pole sitter. Tyler Hamlin in second. And Brandon Feidler in third. Looks like Greg and the number 39 of Brandon Feidler are now going to be working together to see if they can get a bit better of a lap time. Now, I know iRacing doesn't really have side drafts implemented too much, but if it is there just a little bit, getting a spoiling of a side draft might actually help, just to make sure they can maintain their positions. You can see the bottom there changing up a little bit. Alright, it looks like Greg is going to be moving onto the way now to let people finish up their qualifying. Not too much time left. That number 8, Kenny Drugs, driven by Mark Lapierre. He was your leader in practice, although he is currently running 8th now in qualifying. Looks like he's not quite able to keep up the pace. That is just under a second back for your 11 drivers that are here tonight. The number 66 of Sylvan looks like he's going to have a pretty big run there. Following along in this backstretch really can do that for you. I think I'm rushing through 3, now heading to 4. Again, looks like there it is. Looks like a little bit of a change there. Looks like Jeffrey Belk is now into 5th position with that 55 machine. Currently running 2nd behind, looks like a lot of things got changed up. That's Daniel Michael up into 3rd position. Greg still unable to be topped. They head down. I believe this is probably going to be their final qualifying lap right here. Alright, that looks like Greg is going to be your position for pole, but I don't think, unless it's just possible to get somewhere. Like I said before, the tires actually do matter in qualifying, even at Daytona where it's a plate track. Just having that little bit more of grip can make a difference. Alright, here they go for the final time. Let's see if they're going to get kicked out from the qualifying session. Nice, they've been allowed to finish. Good. Oh, big wreck. And that looks like it's going to be Greg remaining as your pole position. Alright. That makes Greg Snellgrove as your pole position. Alright, the 22. Good for Greg. I'm sure he's going to appreciate starting on the front row on the inside line away from everybody else, although he's going to have Tyler on his outside. Not only is Tyler going to be fast, he's going to have the bit smoother of a line too. All right, let's go grab Greg over here and bring him up with us. All right, Greg, this is an open the booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nice. You just got yourself a pole position. How does that feel?
Feels great. Great way to start the season off.
It absolutely is. With these shootouts, how do you think it's going to really play out tonight?
It's going to be crazy. I think you're going to go to the front, you're going to go to the back. It's going to be a lot of back and forth.
Absolutely. 50 laps. That's going to be quite the distance here. Who do you think is going to win this? Obviously, I know you're rooting for yourself.
It's going to be anybody's game, I think. Everybody has a good chance here tonight. Everybody's fast.
Very true. How do you feel about Tyler starting on your outside?
I feel pretty good. If he can get up behind me, I think me and him can stay up front for a long time tonight.
That makes a lot of sense. Are you concerned at all that he's going to have the smoother line and he's going to get a better start than you?
Yeah, potentially. He's pretty good at these plate tracks.
I think it's going to make for an absolutely great start to this season. Thanks, Greg, for your time.
No problem. Have a good night.
All right. So that was Greg Snellgrove as we now head into our race session. Our drivers are going to start gridding up the field, and we are here at Daytona Beach at Daytona International Speedway. Heading into the nighttime, the lights are on. I'm sure a lot of these guys are so excited to get going. See that great sunset out there, even if it is only through iRacing. All right, that sounds like our guys are on the track. Let's head on over and see how they're doing. Looks like they're going to start rolling off now. There is your leader, Greg. He is going to start off this pace field. I'm sure these guys are getting ready to go. Now, there is going to be 2 stages. Nope, not 2. Couple stages in this race that you're going to want to pay attention to. So it's going to be a 20-lap stint, and then another 20-lap stint, and then a 10-lap dash to the finish. Getting those stage points is going to absolutely make a difference for these guys, and I think that they are very excited to get going. The 2 Chevrolet Camaros starting off the front of the field. They are ready to go. Now, keep in mind, Greg actually mentioned that in his thing that he sent to me throughout our forum, that he races Dodge Neons in real life in a 4-banger series at his local track. It's pretty cool to see. I think that that experience is going to give him a bit more of an edge than you might realize here at Daytona. All right, it looks like we're about to go green. I don't know about you all, but I'm very excited. All right, that is the pace car off as they come into the tri-oval.
Rolling Star!
And there is the green flag, and they are off here at Daytona International Speedway. Your top drivers all ready to go. It looks like Tyler gets off to a fantastic start, and it looks like that's going to push Greg currently into 3rd. That is going to be Daniel Michael on his outside, though. They're going to have to pay attention to him and make sure it doesn't get too loose. Everyone's already loose. You don't want to clip that apron just too much. A lot of these guys actually have to be concerned about connection, too, due to weather. A lot of these guys are all over the entire continent of North America. We have some drivers from California. We have lots of drivers throughout different areas of Canada. We have some drivers from New York. This is something they all have to be concerned about, as getting too close to each other can cause some net coding issues. Now it looks like Tyler and Greg Snellgrove are going to absolutely run away now as your top 2. In fourth is Cody Snyder, as we are now fully into this race. It looks like on the outside, though, they're getting a bit of a run. That is going to be the number 39 of Brandon Felder. They are absolutely trying to move. And Jeffrey Belk, they're all the way up into second now. That is quite a run they have on the outside. I know that, like I said earlier, that run on the outside is good and it's going to be fast. Now it looks like the number 4 of Cody Snyder is pulling up as well to try to get a hold of that draft. Your top 4 now are the ones running away with this thing. Coming through the tri-oval once again, these big American V8s running through. Entering into one, that looks like that's going to be the number 55 of Jeffrey Belk. Now is your new leader. Looks like that inside line, though, with Tyler Hallahan on the inside is really going to try to push it up, though. There's always the phrase, don't push the pusher. So that is going to be something that Tyler has to be concerned about now because Greg is pushing him. All right, rounding turn 4. Looks like that inside line is going to have a little bit more speed. Although now the outside has the run. And that's going to be the number 39 of Filer up into first position. And that's the number 25 now of Daniel Michael up into second. Mark Lapierre now sets the fastest lap of the race so far with a 45.057. These guys are moving quick. That's Greg now onto the outside. He was going to think on starting on the inside, but it is not working. We see this reshuffling that keeps happening now. That outside line is the one getting the run. They have to be concerned about that because if there's too much of that outside run, you're going to see a lot of them congesting one of the lines. That number 8, he was leading in practice. He fell back really hard in qualifying. That's Mark Lapierre, now up into 6th position from starting in the rear. Going down the backstretch, this is where the little bit of banking here makes these cars go so fast. If they can really get inside this draft, there's no like Richard Childress, let's drop the rear and make it go faster. All these guys have to play on the same level playing field. No one has more of a speed advantage going through the back unless you save your tires. But I think everyone's going to be on the same level of tires for a lot of this race unless someone pits in. Greg, who started in first, is now down to 4th. What a fallback already. These 11 drivers here are trying to fight out to see who can keep their position. Everyone just keeps reshuffling. I think that Greg was right when we were talking earlier. This really is anyone's kind of race. He's already back up to 2nd now. All right, he just pushed him off into the inside line. He's going to have to ride that outside now. Just see how squirrely all the cars get coming out of 4. This track can easily hold 3 wide, but the problem is that the cars just get so squirrely running through this entire track. You just never know if you really want to be close to someone we're heading into and out of the turns. Look at that number 4 of Cody Snyder. He's running his Hypermatch HKS machine as he's now trying to catch up a little bit. We see that space there you see next to Tyler. Having that space allows you to actually build up a little bit of a draft. Being right under the next person does allow you to get a lot of speed, but having that open space is what iRacing allows you to really fly through and get a huge run. But if there's no one behind him, he won't be going anywhere. A bit of a checkup in the outside line. Looks like Tyler's plan of trying to work with Greg this entire time is not playing out in his favor. If they have to keep checking up on the outside line, that means that inside is going to absolutely run away with this thing. Jeffrey Belk now back up to 3rd position after taking the lead early on. He has to be concerned about that outside line now. You can't pass below the yellow line at Daytona. Yellow line rule initiated at super speedways to make sure that drivers are not cutting through and causing dangerous accidents from being in a bad spot at the track. Now that is a not normal thing you see, having the outside line fall so far back during some of the more flat out sections. It's usually throughout the turns like you see right now where it's so common to fall back, not during the straights. I think with the number of cars here, it is something they have to be concerned about as they head up almost into lap number 10. That's Daniel Michael continuing to lead this race. He's putting on some good blocks behind Brandon Fiedler behind him, who I think is now trying to work with him, seeing that they can try to really pull away from everyone else. But it's a super speedway, pulling away doesn't really happen. You can see on the eye rating here, these guys are pretty close together, but it looks like Daniel Michael is pretty decently ahead of Fiedler. That is going to make a difference. These guys have, if you have more practice and more skill in an iRacing official session, it does play into the effects in leagues. That's a little bit of contact, as we saw further back in the rear. Be careful of some contact. Is going to be very important. I imagine we're going to see a classic plate track finish, or that one spinning across the finish line, but we're only a fifth into this race. All right, we're halfway up until our first stage, and it looks like Daniel Michael is currently the guy to beat. Although it looks like that outside line now being held up by, not held up, being spear pointed, that is the word I'm looking for, by Sylvan, is all the way up into second position now. These guys are moving. Is that going to make a difference now? All right, we head once more back into the tri-oval. It looks like Sylvan, even with the slower drops you get leaving the corners, is still maintaining some pretty good pace being on that outside line. These guys, it's weird that they're so keen to ride that inside line. That's not something you normally see here at a big plate track like Daytona. Thank you everyone who is coming out here tonight. Make sure you check out Black Designs. They are the gracious series sponsor of CASCAR. Looks like the number 39 is now going to try to pull some moves. That's Fiedler on the outside, getting pushed now by the number 86 of Michael Jennings, who started way further back in this field. That's a lot of weaving we just saw coming out of the corner there. Coming up the rear is Don Ashton. Not someone we've seen a lot of. That's Greg Snellgrove in 10th. Started in pole, down to 10th. That is quite a drop. He's really going to have to work himself back up to the front if he wants it. Oh, that's Tyler dipping below the apron. That's something he wants to consider. Obviously, he didn't pass anyone, but just even clipping that apron can send your car into a spin. Jeffrey Belk has decided that he wants to hold that outside line and is going to try to put himself back into the front. Looks like Don has decided that he really wants to settle on that fastest lap rather than the top position. But if you're going to get results, can't argue with that. That is going to be another lap led for Belk there, coming in and really picking up the pace. That's a little bit of 3 wide action you see back there. As they return back into 2 wide. That's Sylvan looking very loose as they now head into 2. Looks like Sylvan is going to be having a little bit of trouble getting currently pushed by Snellgrove, as they now are running through the backstretch. That's really Belk putting himself into a good position, holding up the rest of the field. Greg said earlier that Tyler is one to watch here at Super Speedways. I mean, we've seen how far Greg has fallen back and is kind of waving through the field, but Tyler has been able to stay up in the top 5 throughout most of this event so far. That is until now, when I think he's just about to get past. Yep, that's him down into 6 now, as Sylvan was able to pass him. Not really sure which lane to choose when you're in that kind of position. You know the high line can be much faster down the rear straight, but it looks like that inside line completely disagrees and is going to be taking up as much time as possible. Michael Jennings currently running the outside line all by himself. He's about to get freight trained. You can even see that with Hallahan coming up now. Running that outside is just absolutely devastating by yourself. You never want to do that. If you can have someone behind you, you're set. Entering turn 1 now, we still see that your top 3 are Belk, Feidler, and Michael. Looks like Jennings, though, is going to be trying to gun it. That is Sylvan behind him. All right, that 25 of Michael is now coming up. Is he going to try to get a push from Belk? If they can try to overtake Belk, that is going to be a massive change now. As we're about to head into lap number 17, we're getting ever closer to our first stage. We can just see how close those guys are right there. That is, you can just throw a blanket over them, honestly. And I don't really know if you want to do that in iRacing. That is another Belk-led lap. But as you can see with that gap there, these guys are so close together. You do not want to be in between there. Looks like Don Ashton's having a little issues in the rear. All right, that's Jennings up into third now. Although he's going to be gunning for fourth. Is that the Sylvan trying to... The Sylvan. Is he Sylvan trying to push it 3 wide? Not quite, but it looked like he almost was trying to. Jeffrey Belk able to maintain that first level position. All right, they're looking 3 wide as we cross the start-finish line. Heading into lap number 18 of 50. Daniel Michael now on that outside line. Is he trying to overtake Belk once more? Feidler is going to be pushing right there behind Belk. All right, these guys are looking pretty even as we head through the backstretch. It is going to be a gun to who can get this stage. Tyler Hallahan currently running in 6th position. That is 86 of Michael Jennings pulling way up. You got to stay in the draft if you really want to win here. Richard Drake also looking like he's having some weaving problems towards the rear there. Sylvan, not really sure if he has someone behind him. Are they trying to push it 3 wide? They are, as we cross the start-finish line into lap number 19. They're 3 wide heading into turn number 1. That is going to be the number 8 on the bottom. Sylvan is getting caught up in there. The 41 of Richard Drake had to ride that very high line. That is not the place you want to be. You can see these guys, they're just looking so wavy. I don't know if I would want to be in that field myself. Sylvan gets into contact with the number 86 of Michael Jennings. They're all weaving through the rear. That's a wreck, and there it is. That's the spin. And that is the caution coming out for the first time here at Daytona. Wow, what a wreck that was. I think that is going to be one that absolutely warrants me slowing down here for a minute, and I'll be right back when I find it. All right, I have the source of our caution right here. Let's take a look as we are now currently back in turns 3 and 4. So we're right now following along with the number 86. Let's see what happens. Looks like Sylvan doors him. He gets loose coming down. And then the number 41 comes down, taps the 8, who then comes up, takes out the 41, and that causes out the caution behind him. As it looks like Mark here just got absolutely screwed out of that situation. Unfortunate. That number 8 Kinney's machine. Alright, we come out of the pits now, returning in. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that ends up being Jeffrey Belk. Going to be the first one off of pit road, as it looks like just about everyone came in to make sure they had enough fuel. There he is. Him in that number 55 machine is now running in first position. Once again. He was able to get a good run through pit road, as just about everyone came into pit. Now, the problem with cautions here at super speedways like this is that they just take forever. At least it's not a red flag, which would take even longer. Alright, that's Tyler Hallahan now back up into third position. Looks like he had a really good pit road stop. Looks like Don Ashton got an amazing pit stop as well, as he's now up into sixth position. You can see what a good pit stop does to all these guys who were able to get themselves in really good spots, who didn't really need new tires or lots of fuel if they've been saving. Here's Michael Jennings coming up for the rear. I swear these cars always sound so good as they come through. That's the lights off on the pace car. We're going to be starting going to green one soon. Alright, so it's going to be Jeffrey Belk. In first position on his outside is going to be Brandon Feidler. In third position is going to be Greg, which I don't think is quite right. No, it's going to be Tyler Hallahan. Then on his outside is going to be Greg in the number 22 machine there. In fifth position is going to be the number 41 of Richard Drake, and on his outside is going to be number 52 of Don Ashton. In seventh position is going to be the number 66 of Sylvan. If I'm not mistaken, then eighth is going to be Cody Snyder. Alright, here we are, coming back to the start. Pace car is off.
Rolling start!
There it is, we are green flag here at Daytona once more. And that is going to be Greg moving down to the bottom real quick, wanting to get that position. He's now falling behind Jeffrey Belk, with leaving the number 39 of Brandon Feidler basically out to dry. Don Ashton trying to catch up. Looks like Cody Snyder is going to be getting a move on as well, now falling up on that inside line. You see that inside line once more absolutely pulling away. Is this going to be a common trend we see as we continue throughout our speed weeks? Looks like Belk is now falling behind. It looks like that outside lane has tons of speed. That's Greg Snellgrove up into first position with Tyler Hallahan right behind him. Hey, it looks kind of like our qualifying position there. Jeffrey Belk now running in third still, although he is now going to have to fend off from the outside and from behind the number 41 of Richard Drake and the number 39 of Brandon Feidler. Alright, it looks like Jeffrey Belk is going to be a huge run as they enter into 1 and 2. The number 39 is absolutely on him, and these guys are now going to be working together to try to get themselves ahead of Greg Snellgrove there. So that was our first stage. And there it is. Greg Snellgrove is now going to be falling back as it looks like the 39 and the 55 are so fast when working together. Those guys are just moving. Although it looks like Greg is having a little bit of issues now as Hallahan was not able to keep up with him. Uh-oh, that's Greg on the inside. A little bit of contact, I think that was between the 22 and the 39 there. I think these guys are going to be really up in each other's business all tonight. I think you can see where my green flag music came from as we're now heading back into turn number 2. That's going to be Greg now trying to gun for the lead there. Although I don't know if Tyler's going to be able to help him just enough. It looks like Tyler's trying to get a little bit more air for his engine. Are these guys running a bit too hot? Alright, that's going to be Belk and Filer now pushing up into first and are going to be holding off everyone else. Number 52 with Don Ashton is being kind of left out to dry on the outside there. Although Sylvan is behind him trying to give him a little bit more speed. Although Cody Snyder disagrees and wants to take that inside line as well. Alright, so here we are now entering back into turns 1 and 2. That's the number 55 and 39. Now it looks like the 22. Now the top 3 are going to be the ones pulling away. Although that is going to be the number 41 on the inside there, trying to really make a difference. Richard Drake, we've seen him kind of more midfield this entire time. Now coming up, he's going to be challenging Greg, trying to get that. Looks like there's a little bit of a check up there. They don't want to push it too much as these guys are racing through. Now going into turns 3 and 4. Alright, that's going to be the number 55 of Jeffrey Bell continuing to lead as the number 39 of Feidler is still maintaining second position. Greg Snellgrove out onto the outside now, getting pushed by Tyler Hallahan once more. Mark Lupert now sets the fastest lap of the race with almost a 45 dead. These guys are moving. Looks like Greg is just a little bit slower on the outside line. That's Hallahan swerving a ton there. Is he alright? Richard Drake is able to stay on the inside line and is pushing to see if he can get up into a better position. Although the number 4 of Cody Snyder is not giving him enough of a push to get into that good slot that he needs. The 88 is swerving all over the place. I'm pretty sure Mark right now is a little bit nervous after he got essentially taken out last time by Sylvan when he was waving. These guys need to be concerned for each other. Sylvan now coming back up. You can see Jennings there. This is your entire field, all 11 of the cars for the shootouts in frame. Belk's still your leader. He's been leading so much of this race so far. He does not want to give up that lead, but it looks like Filer is willing to help him with that, although he has shown him a couple times. Looks like Richard Drake was able to get to that outside position, is now going to get pushed by Greg. Cody Snyder up into that inside line. That's Cody popping in and out a little bit. Like I said earlier, you got to be concerned about that weather. The outside line a little bit slow there. It looks like Greg is having a little bit of an issue pushing Richard Drake there. Tyler Hallahan not really having someone in front of him to help him with the draft. I wonder if he's going to try to find a way to get into that lower line. See now the number 52 there. Goodness, his number is upside down. 52 and the 29 there are going to be pretty concerned. We're trying to maintain that speed. Alright, that's Richard Drake now into the lead. He's going to be taking that away from Belk, putting himself into a really good spot as Snellgrove now is going to be on the outside. We are about to enter lap number 27 of 50 here at Daytona. Remember that this series is sponsored by Black Designs, and you should really check out Stephen Black because he has an amazing range of your iRacing products that you could need, especially those paints. You'll see a lot of these paints are out here, are his. Alright, I'm going to have to take a quick break, but I'm going to leave the action on, and I'll be right back. All right, we return here at Daytona. That's Richard Drake, still your leader. On his outside is going to be the number 25 of Daniel Michael. In third place is Jeffrey Belk at the moment, who's currently putting up a huge resistance as Sylvan has made a huge leap up into fourth position. Now he's going to be fighting off Brandon Filer now, trying to get that fifth spot. Fighting for fourth and fifth. It looks like these guys are going to have quite an event. There's Cody Snyder behind, currently running in sixth position. Behind is Don Ashton in that number 52 machine. They've run down the backstretch. That's Richard Drake now absolutely stealing this thing away from Jeffrey Bell. We've seen him kind of running in the mid-pack throughout most of this race, but now he has decided that he wants that lead, and Jeffrey Belk is not going to be someone in the way for him. Number 39, Feidler, is now looking pretty interested in getting that third spot if he can take it on the inside line, although Daniel Michael is disagreeing now as he's up into second position on that outside lane. Sylvan is giving a pretty good push. That's a bit of a wave from Sylvan, though. Looks like Feidler is going to give Sylvan a little bit of room. Not quite enough, though, as these guys are continuing to run down the backstretch of Daytona. Richard Drake is still your leader, although it looks like Daniel Michael completely wants that win. Rick Snowgrove has fallen back a little bit once again, as we've seen during the break, but as you can see, he is going to be pushing the number 8 of Marc Lupierre, trying to give him a bit more speed. Sylvan having a little bit of issues exiting the corners, or at least during the middle of them, with waves. Right there, you can see him. He's pulling up a little bit too high. He needs to kind of remain in a good spot if he really wants to help out the rest of his team and push himself to a good position. So Sylvan's best lap is actually 0.2 slower than the fastest lap. That is actually like pretty far back. Although you can see that he is still with a lot of speed, although it looks like Cody Snyder is going to want to take that position away. And there is Michael Jennings coming up, trying to take that away. All right, your back two are going to be Ashton, who's fallen back to the rear. And it looks like Hallahan and Snellgrove are going to be your 9 and 10. Sylvan is now being left out to dry with the number 8 being the only one in the outside lane, but I don't think Marcus will be able to catch up to him. It is hard to catch cars here at Daytona without a huge draft, and it looks like they are not getting in the outside lane. This bottom lane has just been dominating this entire race. If this is going to be the rest of the races here, I think it's really going to show who wants to be on that bottom and who should be on top. Richard Drake, though, is holding off Jeffrey Bell quite well, and is not trying to straddle that middle line like you see so many drivers do to hold off that outside lane. I think Richard knows, trying to keep that outside lane, that he did not get any speed out there. That's Sylvan, though, a little bit of contact into the number 39 machine. No wreck. 25 getting a little bit squirrely there. Although it looks like the 25 and the 66 now are working quite well together. And it looks like the 39 gives a little bit of space for Sylvan to come down, but does not take it. That checkup in the rear has caused up a bit more of a disturbance than I think they would like, as now the entire rear of the field is all over the place. Alright, that's my little bit of old game soundtracks over for now. For now. Still, the number 41 of Richard Drake is continuing to be your leader. Behind him is Jeffrey Belk. Your top three have been changing all throughout the night tonight, and I really think it shows. That's the number 8 of Marc Pierre, though, getting pushed by Snellgrove now. You can see he and Hallahan now are really trying to see if they can get this rear of the field to really assemble a little bit more. With everyone being all over the place, it really can cause some issues with trying to get to the front. Although it looks like Marc Pierre now has a huge run he's able to get. So if he can take that, it will help him a lot. Although they are a second down from their normal top times. Mark Leclerc down 4 positions from where he started. He is not doing the best at the moment. Although we are only in lap number 35 of 50 here at Daytona, I think it's going to make a difference if a lot of these guys can fight themselves up to a good position. Although that is Sylvan up high. They're forcing it 3 wide. Snellgrove loose. Everyone loose as they come through 3 and 4. That is the big one. Just barely avoided. Everyone slamming on the brakes to avoid that one. Good wreck avoidance on that one. What was Sylvan up to causing that for him to come up like that? Looks like the number 8 is still able to maintain some good speed. Snellgrove and Hallahan are falling way back now, as they had to avoid that potential wreck. They were so close together. Any closer, that would have been bad. That's Michael Jennings now coming down below the apron. Is he get? Nope. Looks like he just had a bit of an issue wanting to straddle that apron. Not quite sure what he chose to do there. Maybe he's trying to get a little bit of space so he can work with Snellgrove and Hallahan there to see if they can push themselves up into a good position. Richard Drake, though, continues to be your leader, and he is absolutely destroying the field. I think Jeffrey Belkin has to worry about his most amount of laps led, because Richard Drake is able to hold everyone off so well. Richard Drake is from Halifax, Nova Scotia, and he is an unaffiliated driver. So if this is really gonna, I think it's gonna really show something else here. His driver sponsor is actually Laker News, which you should check out. And he is sponsored by Kinetic Racing and Corey's Auto Repair. Sorry. Silva now up into second position. He almost caused a wreck, but is now flying through the field. I think these guys are really gonna have to worry about that. Looks like Greg came into the pits to try to get some fuel or some repairs. That's Sylvan into the number 55 of Jeffrey Belk. And now that is Sylvan absolutely guaranteed himself a second place spot for now. He's going to choose to stay on the outside lane, though. I'm not sure how well that's going to play out in his favor, as he now has to be concerned about Jeffrey Belk wanting to get a little bit of a retaliation there. Although that is Sylvan now into the lead. Richard Drake decides that he does not want to let that happen, is going to continue to ride that inside line and make sure it doesn't. Sylvan, though, is going to get that lap. That's a turn, and they're getting into each other. That is going to be the next caution here tonight at Daytona. What a wreck we just witnessed. 2 drivers absolutely just eliminated. I believe the number 25 of Daniel Michael has something to do with that just a little bit. But that is going to be for me to take a look at in our thing. And thank you for the comment. Yes, we can absolutely get some inside camera views. But just give me just a second as we're now heading into caution. All right, so here we are. We can see the number 25 and of Daniel Michael right here as they come into the tri-oval. He's currently drafting behind Sylvan. You can see he comes down and just nose clips him, which takes him down and spins him out, bringing everyone, including Jeffrey Belk, who'd been leading so many laps of this race, down to a very slow halt. Intentional? I don't know. But that is quite a wreck, and I don't think you can quite blame that one on Camaro nose, as it's not a Camaro. But that is going to be the reason why the caution is out here tonight. We're going to ignore the fact that I was just talking to myself for the past 5 minutes. Anyway, we're coming down. Looks like our cars are about to get going. So with the lights on the pace car off, that means that this time it is going to go into the pits and our drivers are going to be off once more. It is going to be a 10-lap dash to the finish, and you have to see who is going to get it, the 22 of Greg Snellgrove or the number 88 of Tyler Hallahan. Don Ashton is going to be riding in third position on the inside line, and on his outs, oh goodness, someone's riding up that inside line on the apron there. It's Sylvan. Goodness, I think he's going to start towards the rear there. That is not the greatest start position. In any case, they come down. They're about to go once more to green. Pace car is off. There it is. This is the green flag, hopefully for the last time here at Daytona.
Rolling Stars!
All right, that is Tyler Hallahan off to a fantastic start. Greg off to a pretty good start, too. Looks like the 41 of Richard Drake does not have a front engine. Nope, he has a front engine, does not have a front bumper. That is going to make things difficult to get some aerodynamic draft in. Looks like Jeffrey Belk is now going to be following behind Snellgrove. Are these guys going to be able to work together and get themselves up into a winning spot? Tyler Hallahan has been left out to dry on that outside line. Maybe if he can come down at just the right time. Not too much, though. There's a little bit of a check up there. Everyone looking very, very loose as they come now into turn number 3. 3 wide. All right, they go back to 2. That is going to be number 52 of Don Ashton now into third position. He's going to be leading that outside charge if he can take it. The number 52 of Daniel Michael is going to be pushing him. Is this going to be a recipe for disaster or a recipe for heaven? Remember that this series is sponsored by Black Designs. Make sure you check Stephen Black out so that you can get your really nice looking iRacing paints. Alright, Tyler Hallahan is going to be your race leader with Snellgrove right behind, trying to push him. And then there's going to be the 52 of Ashton on the outside. 55 of Belk looking pretty interested, seeing hopefully they do not wreck. That's a bit of a spin, though, coming from Belk. Are they able to hold it as they cross through the camera? They are. That is some great save. Wow, I'm actually surprised that Belk was able to save that. Not surprised at his skill, but more surprised at the fact that he was going about 200 miles an hour in a stock car. Cody Snyder is back here a little bit, looking to see how these guys are going to be able to run it. All right, let's get a little bit of some in-car camera. I know that was requested a little bit earlier. Let's take a look from the inside of the number 4 of Cody Snyder. There it is. That's another accident right there, and that's going to be the caution coming out. Look at that timing. Wow, I think that is going to qualify as our big one of the night, as that looks about just about everyone was involved in that accident. Absolutely unfortunate. Looks like Cody Snyder was caught up in that too. Give me one moment. I'm going to take a look back and see what really happened throughout this caution. All right, so here we are back into a little bit earlier where we're entering turns 3 and 4. We're following along with Don Ashton at the moment, who got a huge run while getting pushed by the number 39 there. Let's see what happens. So it looks like he comes down. He is currently... Oh, it looks like Tyler just gets into him and spins him. And then Tyler comes down, takes out Greg, and takes everybody out. Although, if I saw that correctly, I believe that's the number 8 as we rewind here. Look at that. That's Mark LaPierre getting through unscathed, as if the seas of cars had parted specifically for him to get through with his kidney drugs, number 8 Camaro. As so much of the rest of the field is left in ruins behind him, caused by Tyler just accidentally spinning the number 52. Unfortunate. That means a lot of these guys are going to have to pit now, and it's going to really change up the ending result of this race. All right, here he is, your current race leader, Mark LaPierre. So he currently has Jeffrey Belk behind him, and I think that this is going to make for some interesting racing, as Jeffrey Belk has led a ton of laps here. And right now, they're going to have 8 laps to the finish, unless there's another caution. So at this rate, I think we're really going to see who's going to have the gusto to win this race. So having a event like this, where it's a shootout, really does determine the tone for the season. So if these guys are able to keep cautions low to 3 and a 50-lap super speedway, then I think we're going to see that their season is going to turn out quite well. A 16-race season, starting with Daytona, ending with Las Vegas. Tons of great races in between, such as Canadian Tire for the Cup car. They also head to places like Las Vegas. They head to Watkins Glen. Everyone heads off to a fantastic place and makes it a absolutely interesting season we're going to find. All right, so here we are heading towards 3 and 4 once more. Heading into the backstretch, I'm sorry. All right, so following the pace truck at the moment, it looks like Jennings, who has been running towards the rear of the field after a lot of earlier incidents that really were not his fault, has gotten himself up into a good third place position for the moment. Is he going to be able to finish it out and get himself hopefully a win? We'll see. He's been pretty quick. It looks like he has minimal damage, if any at all. And I think that is going to be what allows him to get to a good spot. But don't count out the number 39 of Brendan Fiedler either, because he has been running very fast all night with very little damage as well. Cody Snyder, who has been running towards a little bit more in the midfield to rear section, although he is also looking in a pretty clean car. I think that is really going to make a difference. As the pace car's off, it looks like single file restart now. Didn't know that. As they are now green flag once more here at Daytona. It looks like LaPierre gets off to a pretty good start with Belk behind him. Everyone rushes on by. The 86 of Michael Jennings is hoping to keep that bottom line, as you can tell, so he can stay in the top 3. Although it looks like Belk and Fiedler, who have been working together this entire time, are not going to let that happen. Brendan Fiedler, who is from Jamesville, Wisconsin, and is currently partnered with EJ Racing with Toyota. His sponsor is Foremost Media. As they continue to race through, this guy has been moving this entire race. I don't think that he wants that inside line, because he's been riding that outside. He does not want that inside line to succeed. Sadly, Greg Snellgrove has been shuffled to the rear after that previous incident and a really bad restart. That's Belk and LaPierre currently running side by side through the turn. I think that's going to allow Lapierre to get just enough of a run to get ahead. Looks like they're getting a little bit further wide back there. I'm not really sure if that's the incident they're willing to cause. Although that's Jeffrey Belk now. Everyone's getting loose. Jennings able to hold it, though. That is Jeffrey Belk up into first position once more here at Daytona International Speedway with the CASCAR Series sponsored by Black Designs. Jennings getting a little bit of a check there. That's them spinning off into the infield. All right, I saw a red car. All right, that is going to be the caution out once more. We're now in lap number 45 of 50. Not a lot of time left. These guys are really going to want to be cautious of what happens next. So, good for Lapierre now because he gets that outside line. If he can hold it on the outside, he's going to get a fantastic restart, and that's something Belk has to be he has to consider a lot, is he's been able to hold this inside, but if Lapierre can hold that outside, I think he's going to get past. But then again, that is a big if. Cody Snyder is going to be starting in 4th position, is going to be the one to push Lapierre. We've seen Cody kind of more running to that inside line, so we'll see how that restart goes. Michael Jennings, a little bit further back. It looks like he is going to be able to make it through. All right, I'm going to go find what that caution was for, and I'll be right back. All right, we are now following along with the number 66 of Sylvan. Let's see what happened here with this caution. All right, so we follow along with him, and it looks like 4 of Cody Snyder comes down, and then it looks like that might have intimidated the 88 of Tyler Hallahan, who comes down and absolutely just takes out Greg Snellgrove there. Goodness, looks like my English has decided that it does not want to work anymore. Actually, Sylvan. Greg was taken out earlier there, and that's Sylvan up on his roof there. Absolutely just destroyed, which is unfortunate as we head back into real time. All right, so Jeffrey Belk is going to be the driver to watch now, as he is going to be starting this race once more from the beginning of the field. These drivers are really going to have to watch it. It's 5 laps to the finish. If they bring out another caution, it might continue on to go a little bit longer than they'd like. That's something I have to consider as well as fuel. Did these guys get enough fuel to finish out the race? If not, they're going to have to pit in, and I don't know if all of them want to wait for a caution for that. If they're in a spot where they can wait for a caution, then they're going to be set. But if they're not, then they're going to have a really rough time. Lapierre, like I said earlier, is going to have that outside line, and it's going to really help him get off to a good start. Jennings is going to be starting on the inside line, which is going to help him get into a good spot if he can hold that bottom line. Just remember that a lot of these guys are in a spot where a lot of them have a decent amount of damage. So if they're going to be concerned about what they're doing, now is the time to be concerned. All right, lights are off on the pace car as we're about to go green after we finish this one final pace lap. I don't know about you, but I'm very nervous for this start once more. Actually, I think this time we should take a restart from the inside of a car here. I don't think we've done that, and I think that is going to really make it something cool to watch. The question is, who do we pick? You know what? Let's start within the inside of Richard Drake. We haven't seen a lot of him throughout this session so far, aside from the time he was leading early on. Looks like Greg had to disconnect, sadly, due to damage and some other issues. So we're going to be starting from the interior camera. There we are. You can see that banking once more. He has a little bit of damage, which I think will prove interesting. Like I said before, Jeffrey Belk will be leading this field off to a green flag start. As we watch from the inside, about to go through. I don't know about you, but this is very intense. That's the pace car off. There it is. That is the green flag once more.
Rolling Stars!
So we're green. It looks like these guys are getting off to a pretty clean start so far. A little bit of shuffling up at the top of the field, but it looks like Belk is able to maintain his lead for now. Going a little bit more single file, it looks like that is going to be the number 25, just left out to dry in the outside. As they go on, it's LaPierre, though, able to maintain second position, although it looks like he's getting some real big pressure coming in from the third place position of the number 39 of Feidler. What is this going to mean as they continue to run through? That's 3 cars now up in the high line. I think a lot of these guys are just ready to get this race over. They come through. It looks like everyone's able to hold it this time as they enter the tri-oval. There they go. They were able to complete a lap once more here at Daytona International Speedway. Feidler now into the lead, taking away that position from Belk. Belk, who has led a lot of these laps, is going to have something to say about that and does not want to stay in the rear anymore. We've seen him absolutely move it, so I don't think that he's going to let Feidler just take it away, even if the 39 has been pushing him for throughout so much of this race. LaPierre in third, potentially looking interested as well. LaPierre did not qualify very well, but was able to get himself into a good position now. So if he's able to keep up this kind of pace, I think he's going to be happy with his finish. There they go, looking a little bit loose there. Jennings down below the yellow line. I think he was trying to do a little bit of wreck avoidance there. 3 laps left to go here at Daytona. The 39 of Brandon Feidler currently in the lead ahead of Jeffrey Belk. What is this going to mean? When we get to the white flag, there can't be another caution through the iRacing system. So here we go. That's going to be 2 laps left to go. One more time before they get into the spot where iRacing can't throw another caution. Can they hold it this lap? I don't know, because that's a little bit of squirreliness I see towards the rear there, but they are slotting into line okay. LaPierre holding off Snyder, not wanting to let him get that 3rd place position. I think the top 3 really do want to keep their spots as much as possible, although that's Jennings looking a little bit like he got turned a little bit, but he was able to save it. All right, that's your top 4 now, all pushing each other, rolling away with it. Although that 5th place position of the 25 of Daniel Michael, who's been very aggressive throughout this entire race, but also very fast. All right, there it is. That is the white flag. We are 1 lap to go here at Daytona International Speedway. Brandon Feidler is currently your leader as we come through turns 1, now going into 2. Mark LaPierre rides in 3rd, holding off Cody Snyder as they come through once more down the backstretch. This is the final time they're going to do it. The 39 of Feidler looking very clean, Pierre out wide. Can the high line get some extra movement? There it is. They're getting loose. That's LaPierre getting into Snyder. That's another big one towards the rear. Jennings able to get through with a little bit of damage. And there is your 1 and 2 spot of Feidler and Belk. Ooh, wow, what a finish. Brandon Feidler. Nope. Jeffrey Belk getting that finish by .004 of a second. Led so many laps of this race. Had an amazing group of teamwork with Feidler. Wow. What a finish from these guys. So close. Jennings, who was able to slip through that big one right there at the end and get himself a good top 3 position. LaPierre sadly having to finish in 8th position after that horrible accident. Getting loose and everyone getting very excited to come through. They come to finish 2 wide. Jeffrey Belk, your race winner, as he comes now. And there he is, the number 55, coming to do his celebratory burnouts in the grass at Daytona. What a feeling it is, even if this is just the shootouts and not the main event yet. What a race. I think Jeffrey Bell can be very happy with that one. What a finish as he comes up to Feidler. Essentially his teammate throughout this entire thing. I think Belk might be an EG Racing, which might explain why they were working so well together, but I don't have that in my notes here. Still, what a finish. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Very impressed with these guys. They had a great first race as 55 comes in to do his lap around. All right, well, I think it's time that we do the right thing here and we take an interview of your race winner, Jeffrey Bell. Oh, nope, we're going to interview, sorry, my apologies. Jennings first. That's a top 3 position. How do you feel?
It wasn't my best outing, that's for damn sure. I'm gonna have to adjust the wheels. I made a lot of stupid mistakes. Absolutely nothing went right for me tonight. I'm lucky to walk away with a top 3. I feel bad for my competitors, especially after that first rookie mistake at the end of the first stage.
Well, I mean, that's all the kind of stuff that happens here. You know, at Daytona, it's a plate track. It just, nobody's able to keep it clean, really.
Yeah, that's not like me. It could be because it was nothing on the line, all for fun. We'll see how the first race of the season goes next week at Daytona.
I think we absolutely will see how it goes, but I think if this is going to be a mood setter so far throughout the series, I think it could be a lot worse as a general total, as the racing was very close the entire time.
Yeah, it was definitely good racing. A lot of, and I'm guilty of it too, a lot of aggressive side drafting to make up spots. It's rough when you've got with the teammates and all that fun jazzy stuff, so it is what it is. We'll lick our wounds. We'll get them next week.
That is a fantastic attitude to have, but I think a podium finish is nothing to snoot at.
Definitely not.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Is there anyone in the audience you want to thank?
I'd like to thank everybody that tuned in. I'd like to thank everybody over at Amateur Esports for signing on with us for a couple of races this season. I'm sorry it's not the showing that we all expect out of something with Amateur Esports name on it, but definitely be a better showing next week.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Now it's time to get Brandon Feidler up here with me so that we can do a second place interview. Brandon, this is Noah up in the booth. Can you hear me? Brandon, this is Noah up in the booth. Can you hear me? believe that is her first one with no microphone, unfortunately. We'll see if he is just not here. You're muted. Okay, I see ya. Well, Brandon, you did a great job. You were able to finish into a fantastic second place finish. Absolutely earned it, that's for sure. Having a great fight towards the very end with Jeffrey there. That gap of .004 is so intense. That is a great finish. If you'd like to put in the chat anyone you want to thank tonight, I would appreciate that so I can read it out for you. It's just typing, folks, no worries. Sometimes it just happens when you have little iRacers here with no microphone access, or just, yeah, it happens. I think if we have the opportunity here, let's take a look at the finish once more as we wait for the response from Brandon there. All right, here. Looks like Brandon was able to beat me to it before I was able to get the stuff up. So Brandon says here that he and Jeff were happy to finish 1-2 with them being teammates. So you didn't know that. Good to know. We were hoping to get Cody here with us too, but unfortunately he was taken out in the wreck there. I'd like to thank my family for watching, Shorter Plumbing, 921 Mobile DJ, and Foremost Media being on the car for this race. Thank you very much for your time, Brandon. I do appreciate it. You did a great job tonight. All right, now for the final bit, let's get Jeffrey up into the call with us. Jeffrey, there's no up in the booth. Can you hear me? It looks like Jeffrey's muted too. Just a yup there. All right. Well, that was a fantastic race win you had. So close to the end. How do you feel just beating your teammate by such a small margin? Oh, here. Jeffrey, can you hear me now?
There we go. There we go.
There we
Hello.
go. All right. Looks like it was just a permissions thing. There we go. All right. So how do you feel with getting such an amazing finish here tonight?
That was great. The plan was just to stick behind them, but as soon as we saw the big one happen behind it, that just went out the window.
Yeah, I mean, you could just see everyone behind you just disappearing.
Definitely. That was a good finish.
It was very close. I was got a little bit surprised that I didn't see you guys wreck each other out going across the start-finish line.
Honestly, I was half expecting that.
Still, it was an astounding finish. How were you able to stay out front the entire time?
Really good teammates. Brandon, we worked together. We got out front. He helped me get that first stage win, and then we were just able to keep up front. I got damage in one of the wrecks and had to come in for repairs, but luckily we didn't get caught up in anything else. And
Yeah, clearly your strategy worked out very well. I'm glad that you guys were able to get to such a great position, so you were really able to finish it out strong.
thank you very much.
All right, so I do appreciate it. Is there anyone you'd like to thank out there?
The NASCAR Geek, Equipment Geek, Helmet Stalker, Sports Star, and Shock.
All right. Well, Jeffrey, thank you very much for your time and a fantastic race win by you.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, that is going to conclude it for our broadcast here tonight. I do appreciate the time everyone has spent with us, and that is going to conclude it from me, Noah Walter, your broadcaster here tonight. I'll be joining you once again next week with the actual Daytona, and that one will be for some real points, and really will be the one that shows who needs to finish where and that they can do it well. Thank you very much for everyone to coming out. I do appreciate it. Thank you to all those that commented, and thank you to Pierce Graphics for getting my overlays working, and well, that's going to be it for me. Thanks, guys.